Hi, good evening. It's like 10 o'clock Eastern time. Just getting ready to wind down for the night. And this idea came to me I've been listening to a lot of podcasts lately. And one of the ones that I love to listen to is Chris and Lori Harder. And so, on their podcast, they share a lot of sometimes behind the scenes on Chris's with the mastermind that he hosts. And I always love that and appreciate that because I feel like I'm getting a little bit of again, behind the scenes, or I'm there part of the room, even though I'm not signed up for it. So anyways, been listening to that, and in 2 separate episodes, they were sharing about how to build your personal brand. And it was talked about that showing up on lives helps with clarity and helps with your confidence in, growing your business, growing your brand, and just being more authentic and serving more people and how you can. So both of the speakers, I have notes just because, again, I haven't done a live in forever, and this just helps me feel comfortable and confident. So if you see me looking up, I'm looking at my notes. So both of the speakers said that they would get ready in the mornings. And I believe both of these speakers don't have kids, which is completely fine. But for me, I was like, okay, so I want to be more confident. I want to be more comfortable. I want to be of more service and of more help. And, my morning routine is not a good morning routine. And showing up on lives I feel like isn't the best space for me to be in the mornings. And the season of life that I'm in, I have a almost 7-year-old and a 2-year-old, and I feel like I love that sacred, uninterrupted time with them. And I feel like it's a beautiful way for us to start our day at ease and spending that time together. And putting a live in of me getting ready in the morning just doesn't make sense because my mornings are chaos sometimes. So I was trying to think, okay, I feel like what is something I can do that is true and authentic to me and in a way that feels aligned for me to show up and good and reflect on just come on live and share. And so this is where, reflect on your day came in, because I'm trying to be more intentional with my time at night, reflecting on what are the things I've done through the day? What are the things that I'm working on? What are the things that didn't get completed? What are some maybe conversations that I had? Because I feel like, again, this is a really good way not only to see what you've done, but then you can look back and see what you've done, but also to give you some clarity around did I really spend my time doing what I intended and set out to do? Or, I had this good conversation, that'll be good for me to bring up with the client or telling a story here. And just really, it gives a lot of perspective with your day, and I found it really helpful. And so I thought doing this, sharing this. So just looking at my notes. I also feel like so often we're always busy doing, and sometimes we don't take time to pause and reflect on what are we actually doing? What are we actually spending our time with? How are we actually being intentional with our time? And how are we noting how our day is? So for me, I feel like this is kind of a 3-part win doing these reflections of the day. 1, it's helping me to build more clarity and confidence for me speaking live and on camera, because I have a podcast, but I hide a lot behind my mic on my podcast because I haven't been using the videos. I've just been using the audios. That's changing in 2025, but this is also helping me build that confidence to now be able to use those lives going forward in 2025. 2, it's having me reflect on the day, and it gives me an opportunity to celebrate, make changes, maybe look at some of the challenges that I've had, and it gives me awareness and to be present and being more present in my business. And then the 3rd reason why I feel like this is, again, a win-win is the most important to me is to be of service and to really help you and answer any questions you may have regarding business, life, behind the scenes, client facing, all about experience. So I'm going to reflect on things that happen throughout my day, and I'd love if any of this resonates with you, share in the comments, let me know. So the first thing is I really spent some time, I'm building out a funnel for one of my clients, and I worked with the web designer, and we really kind of flushed that out, their freebie, and turned it into a paid offer, which then leads into a program. So I really helped, when I was doing this for my client, me starting to think about my own business, about some of the funnels that I want to have in my own business as well too. And Then I had a call with a potential client, and for that I really they're looking for, again, support with systems and behind the scenes in their business and organization. And so one of the things I did, and I think it's really important with anybody who does any type of connection call, discovery call, anything at all, the experience, right? So I did some research and I looked into some things that I saw that maybe they're currently doing, that they're offering, and I saw some gaps. I noticed a few things on their website that just didn't seem to like flow or make sense, or one of their offers just felt a little disconnected. So again, like I had my ducks in a row. So when I had this conversation with them, I had some background about, I knew who they are, what their business is, what lights them up, where they're like, I'm able to help see where their vision is going, and if I'm in alignment and we're in alignment and a good fit to work together. So that was really helpful. And then the third thing I want to share with you is that I worked on my plan for 2025. And so with this, do you ever think, okay, I'm going to write down this idea and I'm going to write down this goal, and then, I'm going to start it later. And then when it comes around to that time of later, you don't actually go and do the thing because we procrastinate, we put it off and we put it off. But like, how is that change ever going to happen if we don't actually start somewhere? And so I like to refer to it even as like working out, right? So I know a lot of times in the new year, people set goals of like, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to like exercise more, I'm going to be mindful of my eating, whatever the case may be. We set these goals and then we fall off the wagon a lot of times. But you haven't started to do the habit and the action and put that in place for you to continue on those goals and to reach them for what you're trying to achieve in 2025. So why not start now? And why are we always waiting for the new year to make changes? And so, hi Leslie, hi. So why are we waiting for the new year to make these changes? So doing these lives is one of the things that was actually on my list for 2025. And because I want to be able to speak more, I want to be offering more classes, I want to be actually a guest on more podcasts, I want to be attending more events, I want to be speaking. I'm actually a panelist at an event tomorrow night. And if I'm not actually out there speaking using my voice, how am I going to build that confidence? So again, doing these lives, this is why I'm starting now. I put it in my plan for 2025, and then it was like, why am I not just doing this now? So what is something that you're already pushing off to 2025 that actually you could start now, and it'd be possible for you to be doing it now and doing things as you grow and evolve? So that was the third thing. I'm just kind of sharing here about reflections of my day, and I think that it would be really helpful for you to kind of take the time to reflect on your day and what you're doing and what's working and what's not working. So the last thing that I want to share with you is, okay, I'm really big on experiences, and what is the experience like when you work with someone? What is my experience like when I work with someone? The whole gamut, right? Because I think a lot of times we want results, but what is that experience like? Because there's so many people doing all the things that we do, right? But at the end of the day, you are unique, and what makes you different. So I received a DM this morning from someone on whose Facebook group that I'm in. And there's so many different strategies, so many different tactics, so many different ways that we can connect and reach out to people, and that we can, grow our community or, try to build connections and build relationships. Okay, I get that. There's all different ways to do it. I'm not trying to knock this person, but I really want to say they could have handled it and done this a lot better. Okay, so I've received a DM from someone whose Facebook group I'm in. This person right away, that I lost trust and credibility with them because I could tell that they were actually just copying and pasting the message that they sent to me. It wasn't my name at the top of the message. They said, "Hi, Sally." And they didn't say that, but I just, in case someone ever watches this, I don't want them to know that they're the ones I'm talking about. So they said, "Hi, Sally." So I just didn't even respond because I'm like, you didn't even take the time to like change the message to put my name. And to be honest, I don't even remember like what Facebook group it is that I'm a part of for them. And they didn't even put the name of the Facebook in the group. I could have went and looked it up. However, the point is that if they actually took the time to address me, if they actually took the time to make it more personable, then I would have engaged in a conversation with them. And so I really want to share with you how experience makes a big difference, and going that extra mile for people and what that could have looked like and how that could have changed. So if you are someone who's doing outreaches to clients to build that connection, to build up a relationship, here's maybe how they could have done that differently. They could have reached out to me and said, "Hi, Amy, I noticed that you've been in my Facebook group about selling, my Facebook group called Selling School." That's actually called, I just made it up, but for the past year. "And I noticed that you haven't been as active. I saw that you're selling your client onboarding process and was wondering how that was going. I'd love to learn more about you and where your journey is, and I can point you maybe to some resources in the group that would help you." Do you see how that makes a big difference? Just by them doing that, they're being personal. They're getting to know me. I know that they've looked at me. They've looked at what I'm selling. They've looked at how active I am in the group. They've now looked at like, okay, you know what? Maybe I should point her in a direction of resources. So they're actually being of service, and they're following me along on my journey, and they're building up that relationship. Yes, personalization is so important. Absolutely, especially these days. So because you want to differentiate yourself and you want to show that you actually care. People want to buy from people. People want to get to know people. People want to learn from people. And they actually want people to care about them and where they're going, and not just look at it as a transaction to be done. And so a few things that they could have done to actually see, sorry, going back to my notes again here. See, this is why we do these lives, to get more comfortable. So I have a few ways that they could have looked to see how active I am in the Facebook group. Is they could have went and they could have seen my name to see how often I'm posting, how often I'm engaging with things. They could have seen how long I've been a member of the group. They could have also searched to see how engaged I am in the group. So if they're going to reach out to me, do some of your homework before you just randomly reach out to people, and building that relationship and that connection with them. So my question to you tonight is, what are some things that you can reflect on in your day? And maybe it's a conversation you had with somebody. How could that conversation have gone differently? Or maybe it's a project that you're working on. How could you have maybe done things differently? Or maybe it's like, I had an amazing call with someone today. I feel so great. Write this stuff down, because on days when you're feeling frustrated, on days when you want to throw in the towel, on days when you want to quit your business, you have that now to go back and refer to and be like, hey, you know what? I had this call. It was amazing. I helped this client with this. This feels wonderful. And also it gives you some leverage for your stories. We're always looking for things to post on social media, on content, ways to engage with people. You've now got stories. For example, I now have those stories that I had that happened in my day that I now shared with you. So take the time, make things more personable as when you're doing things, and what are some things that you can do and reflect on in your day today and be grateful for. So that's my live for today. I will be back again tomorrow night, and I'd love to know how this resonated with you. If you have any questions on how I can support you, or questions about behind the scenes. I talk a lot about self-reflection as part of leading yourselves better. Yes, absolutely, because that is such an important part. So yes, thank you. I think it's bringing that awareness, right? And what you're actually doing, and if you're being in alignment. And it's so true. I think so often we're in autopilot and we don't even realize that we're in autopilot, and we're not here to live in autopilot. So thank you so much. We'll chat again soon. Bye for now.